Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen to this week's edition of Tuesday's Tips and Tactics, Inbound Marketing in 10 minutes or less. As promised last week, today we're going to talk about planning and deploying lead nurturing, and specifically in this edition we're going to talk about email lead nurturing. We're not going to dive into things like social media and on-site lead nurturing and things like that, but a lot of these tips actually go right on over to those ways and means of lead nurturing too. So definitely take notes, and you can use those for your other campaigns as well. My name is Chad Pollitt. I'm the Director of Inbound Marketing here at Kuno Creative. And of course you can reach out to me on Twitter, ask your questions or give feedback. It's always appreciated. And I love having Twitter conversations, so hit me up. Okay, so what is lead nurturing? We know, according to HubSpot, that only 4% out of 100% of the people that visit your website are ready to buy anything from you. Okay, so that leaves 96% of the people that come to your website that they're not potential customers yet. Okay, because they reside at the top of your sales funnel. So what we want to do is utilize lead nurturing to help move them down the funnel and make them more likely to buy from you in the future. Okay, so what are these 11 steps to lead nurturing? Well, step one, the first thing you want to do before you start a lead nurturing campaign, or maybe you want to revamp your lead nurturing campaign, is you want to inventory all of your content on your website that resides behind a form. Okay, and that could be lots of different kinds of content. It could be a newsletter sign-up form, it could be a white paper, it could be a video, so on and so forth. So inventory all that. So once you inventory all that content, then you want to organize the content. Now, it doesn't really matter how you organize it, whatever makes sense for your business. You could organize it by category, persona, or by the specific problem that content solves. A good example would be category. So here at Kuno, we might have a mobile marketing category, for example. Then once you have divided up your content into categories or personas or whatever you do, you have your piles. Okay, and the example I gave, the mobile marketing pile, we'll use that here. Once it's in, we've identified our piles of content. We want to divide each pile up into 3 areas, and those areas are top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel content. And it would look something like this. Generally speaking, top of the funnel content has a very, very low barrier to lead acquisition. Okay, so the likelihood of somebody filling out the form is high. Okay, it could be a valuable piece of content with a very low time commitment to consume that content, like a white paper guide, how-to, or cheat sheet. Okay, where middle of the funnel, on the other hand, there's typically a higher barrier to lead capture because of things. In the example of a video, not all videos, but in the case of, say, a webinar, the time commitment is much greater. So to get someone to commit to that is a higher threshold to be able to convert them into a lead. Okay, and bottom of the funnel content are those things, those actions, or that content that people consume on a website just prior to becoming a customer. Okay, so you need to identify where your content resides in the funnel. Now, ultimately, where your content resides is going to be determined upon by your customers over time. But assuming you don't have a lead nurturing campaign yet and you haven't done analysis like this, you need to start somewhere. And this is a good rule of thumb. And this is what it might look like. Now, my example before was mobile marketing. So at the top of the funnel, we have a simple guide that's easily downloaded from our website. And in the middle of the funnel, we actually have a video, a mobile webinar video. It's a much higher threshold for people to convert. The end result of that is the conversion rates for middle of the funnel content tend to be lower than top of the funnel content. And then, of course, the last thing that we have is bottom of the funnel content. It's an executive summary and top reasons to do business with Kuno. We know that if somebody downloads this, chances are they're either a competitor or they're ready to do business with Kuno. Then we want to identify what content gaps we have. So out of those categories or personas, those piles of content we created, where are we missing content at the top, middle, and bottom of the funnel? And if we are missing content, we want to develop content. Then what you want to do is write emails for people that download top of the funnel content. Okay? Now, those emails should suggest for people to go and download middle of the funnel content to access that content. So in the mobile marketing example I gave, if somebody downloaded the guide, we'd send them then an email recommending that they watch the video. Same thing with middle of the funnel, except when somebody converts in the middle of the funnel, you want to suggest bottom of the funnel content to nurture them and nudge them down the funnel. And then, of course, for bottom of the funnel content, if somebody consumes that content and fills out your form, you want to send them an email either suggesting more bottom of the funnel content or asking for the call or the appointment. Because ultimately that's what we want to do. We want to convert these people into customers. And of course you want to write short and enticing subject lines for your emails. Now I'm not going to get into the different ways you can do that. There's been books written on this subject, so I won't go into that today. Now you want to come up with a timing for your lead nurturing emails. You want to come up with a drip. So in this example, it starts at 3 days, 5 days, and then 10 days, so on and so forth. Now, I would actually recommend starting it right away in 24 hours, and then maybe 3 days, and then maybe 5 days, and 10 days, and 15 days. But ultimately, you're going to want to test that to know what works best for you. And of course you want to track the campaign. Now this isn't a video about analytics, so I'm not going to go into the details of the analytics, but these are some examples of things that you'll want to track over time to figure out what's really working and what's not working for your email lead nurturing. And then of course the analytics that you acquire and that you capture are going to guide your testing over time and will tell you what adjustments you can make or should make. So take those things that have been successful for you and duplicate those things in other email lead nurturing campaigns to help improve those campaigns. So we just looked at ways to do lead nurturing, so I know you're all going to go out there and capture a bunch of new leads on your website. Of course, you're going to need help in managing and closing and scoring those leads over time. And this guide here is over on Facebook. It's free, and it will help you come up with a plan to do the things I just mentioned. Well, everyone, thanks for watching again. Tuesday's Tips and Tactics, Inbound Marketing in 10 minutes or less. Next week we're going to have a new presenter for you, and I believe we're going to be talking about Twitter automation. So come join us next week and we'll see you then. Thanks.